This is the final slate before the All-Star break, and they've given us a challenging one. We only have 3 games to discuss, so let's dive into this Thursday card. Core plays Stephen Curry, PG, SG, GSW, $9,600 DraftKings, $9,400 FanDuel. Curry has scored at least 40 DraftKings points in 13 of his last 14 games while scoring at least 54 DK points in 4 straight matchups.
That run has climbed the Warriors out of their deep hole and should continue against Utah. The Jazz rank 25th in points allowed and defensive efficiency, with Curry collecting 60 DK points against them just a few days ago.
Karl Anthony Towns, C. Min, $7,700 DraftKings, $8,100 FanDuel. Cat was rested in the second half of Minnesota's most recent game, but we don't expect that to be an issue here. Before that, Towns was averaging 41 DraftKings points per game since January 1st. That's all you can ask for from an $8,000 player, and this matchup should keep that form chugging in the right direction.
The Trail Blazers are allowing the second most fantasy points to opposing big men, with Cat collecting 40 fantasy points against them just last month. Cash game considerations: Giannis Antetokounmpo, PF, C. Mill, $11,800 DraftKings, $11,700 FanDuel. Antetokounmpo is playing some of the best basketball of his career right now, averaging 62 DraftKings points per game since mid-November.
He's also established a 50-point floor and an even higher ceiling with Chris Middleton out. Not to mention, the Grizzlies are sending out a G League roster with their whole starting lineup injured.
Lauri Markkanen, SF, PF, Utah, $8,100 DraftKings, $8,400 FanDuel. Utah has also been struggling recently, but they know where their bread is buttered. That's feeding Markkanen because the Finnish forward is averaging 41 DraftKings points per game.
That could get even better with Kelly Olynyk, and Simone Fontecchio moved at the deadline, but this matchup is Markkanen's best asset. The Warriors rank 22nd in total defense, with Lauri scoring 57 DK points in their final matchup of last season.
Draymond Green, PF, C. GSW, $6,300 DraftKings, $6,500 FanDuel. Green has scored at least 27 DraftKings points in 11 of his last 12 games, scoring 36 and 40 DK points in his 2 most recent outings. He's also flirted with a triple-double in both of those and should crush a 25th-ranked Jazz defense here.
That 40-point gem happened against Utah, with Green falling 1 rebound and 2 assists shy of a triple-double. GPP targets Vince Williams, SG, SF. Mem, $6,500 DraftKings, $7,000 FanDuel. Williams has established himself as the Grizzlies' primary playmaker, scoring at least 26 DraftKings points in 15 straight games.
He's also got a 33-point average in that span and should be at $7,000 on both sites with so many Grizzlies players injured. Facing the Bucks isn't as bad as it sounds, with Milwaukee ranked 23rd in points allowed.
Klay Thompson, SG, SF. GSW, $5,500 DraftKings, $5,500 FanDuel. We know this Thompson can play at a $7,000 level, which was on display when he had 38 DK points in his most recent outing. All we need is Klay to get hot to be a good value in a GPP, and it's more likely against one of the worst defenses in the NBA.
That was also against Utah, with Klay compiling at least 32 DK points in 6 straight matchups with the Jazz. Walker Kessler, C. Utah, $5,600 DraftKings, $7,100 FanDuel. We finally saw Kessler move into the starting lineup after those deadline moves, and it's about time.
This kid was playing at a $7,000 level in that role last season, and he'll return to that as long as he's receiving 30 minutes a night. That was clear when he dropped 35 and 36 DK points in his two most recent outings, but we expect that to be closer to his average from here on out.
Not to mention, the Warriors are one of the smallest teams in the NBA. Value plays Rudy Gobert, C. Min. $7,500 DraftKings, $8,000 FanDuel. Gobert has remained around $7,000 on DraftKings all season, but he deserves to be an $8,000 player on both sites. The center is averaging over 35 DraftKings points per game while providing a 30-point floor.
His rebounding will always give him one of the highest floors in the NBA, especially against Portland. They own a 29th OPRK against opposing centers, with Gobert gobbling up 24 points and 17 rebounds in their matchup last month.
Santi Aldama, PF.C. Mem. $5,900 DraftKings, $5,800 FanDuel. With so many Memphis players sitting on the bench, all of these guys are exciting options. Aldama should be locked into 30 minutes from here on out with all of those guys missing, and this big man is averaging over 30 DK points per game when he gets that sort of role.
We've seen him play 35 to 40 minutes multiple times over the last 2 weeks, and he needs to be closer to $7,000 on both sites if that continues. Advantageous pricing: Walker Kessler, C. UTA, $5,600 DraftKings, $7,100 FanDuel. Brook Lopez, C. Mill, $5,700 DraftKings, $6,600 FanDuel. GG Jackson, SG, SF. Mem. $4,900 DraftKings, $6,100 FanDuel. Mike Conley, PG. Min. $5,200 DraftKings, $6,000 FanDuel. Nez Reid, PF. C. Min. $4,600 DraftKings, $5,700 FanDuel. Kyle Anderson, SF. Min. $3,500 DraftKings, $5,200 FanDuel. Nickel Alexander Walker, PG, SG. Min. $3,800 DraftKings, $4,800 FanDuel. Duop Reith, PF. C. Poor, $3,500 DraftKings, $4,500 FanDuel.